like tournament, directly qualifying themselves to phase 3. They've decided to completely bypass the possibility of playing as the challengers roster, and we're getting a full look at them here.
Yeah, it's unchanged from Spotlight. And ERAH, what have they got for us? Neptune, Tommy, Robs, Peter, and Nyasha. I think, sorry, Nisha. Sorry.
Nisha.
Nisha. That's terrible pronunciations for me. I'm going to get absolutely trolled for that. But the point being, they're going to take the double controller setup, whereas for alternate aTTaX, it is the unchanged double duelist.
Yeah, the alternate aTTaX challengers roster qualified to phase 2 but weren't able to progress, but this Spotlight team, in winning that phase of the competition, directly qualified to phase 3. So this is the last representation that alternate aTTaX are going to get as an org in the competition, but it's been a pretty strong showing so far. A loss for them in the first game will sting, but ERAH, coming off the back of a 13-1, almost have more to do in the mental department. Now, that extended break will definitely have helped them out in terms of resetting and getting themselves back and focused again, but it's a fully French side against a full German roster to see who it is that goes 1-1 and who's dropping down into the dreaded 0-2, Cairo. We always know how Swiss works. You get to that point in time and it feels almost unsalvageable, but a win here could put you right back on track.
Yeah, it could really rescue it. I think it's easier though to almost rescue yourself from 13-1 though. That's what I will say. Just because you can just write it off as, hey, that just happened, let's just deal with it. Anyway, alternate aTTaX, starting the attack, they're going to slow roll their way through with a big shock dart landed at their feet as they try to challenge Robs. He doesn't know how much damage that he's done just yet. We'll find out exactly how many players is there before confirming. Another shot goes out, doesn't net any sort of kills, but is forced all the way out.
Yeah, it's looking like almost 250 damage and shocks there before the fights break out on site. ERAH with so much dealt, Blossy at a double, but now forced to clutch it out solo. And it's not looking too winnable with the bullets and lack of them. ERAH capitalizing and getting the first on the board for the defenders.
Yeah, the first round's important, as we've seen so far today, with both games kind of having a really momentum-based start. We saw Eternal Fire go 4-0, and God, I can't even remember how we saw the KC game start with Bramboot Club. I mean, they were like, what, 6-0 or something like that before we actually seen... Sorry, no, it was like up towards like 9.
Yeah, it was 9 in a row before KC got there first, and that did start with a 3 versus 1 pistol round ace from Hyber, but nothing as spectacular here, just some straightforward, good old-fashioned, honest Valorant. And yeah, already just the amount of damage from those shock darts really helped out ERAH in their fast flood. The one smoke on the map is keeping them interested here, as alternate aTTaX are going to burst out onto C and should be able to get themselves a spike plant here for their troubles.
Yeah, the spike goes down and ready for the retake. I mean, straight away it's just going to be a formality in the end, leaving Blossy with just the Sheriff in hand. First shot is good, but the rest break out. So overall, a little bit of damage done by Blossy, but alternate aTTaX aren't able to get anywhere near a round 1.
Yeah, it's a very strong second round, though, considering they came in with next to nothing. Blossy does find a second kill there, and the spike plant is an extra 300 credits for every player. So, positives to be taken at the very least, but like you say, ERAH do keep it clean. And so heading into the bonus, they will have a huge opportunity here to preserve that momentum and keep an upwards trajectory that they've already set themselves on. Blossy has the From the Shadows ready, but the question is, does she want to try and call anything around this, the in-game leader?
I doubt that. I mean, it's not the most impactful ultimate, although we have seen interactions, for instance, being able to waste an alarm bot with it. But his mid, the priority has been set for alternate attacks. He's looked to actually go and interact with that Killjoy utility. Tommy able to escape with their life, luckily enough. But at the same time, ERAH have done very well to be proactive in taking that A main space.
Yeah, alternate attacks. It's nowhere near as easy to default with this solo Omen on smokes. Yes, they have the benefit of having the Cypher to cage across on A, but it's just Aeon takes a bullet to the dome, and the flash there isn't exactly helping out alternate attacks. Jade does manage to trade things out, and Robs will be forced to forfeit this space. So at the very least, they can get the spike down in the 4-on-4.
Paranoia looking to be used early doors to create a little bit of delay for that spike to go down, but overall still delay as they wait for Neptune to get into the backlines for ERAH.
30 seconds left.
Yeah, trap is down, so Jade has to watch over this with a little more caution, just waiting for those shocks to run out before the spike plant eventually comes in. Unfair caught by the decay, but sidestepping the bulk of the damage. Now this gap I was talking about has really opened up. The Killjoy player already into long now, waiting to set up for the retake. Neptune catching a couple of players blinded by the paranoia, and now it's warning stations for alternate attacks. Jade needs an ace to save them here. Repositions back into short and calls the bluff of Tommy on this first stick. It is a half. And now looking for the timing on the second approach. Fakes the TP, makes a lot of steps, but can't find the shots. So Tommy will close it out for ERAH and convert their bonus round.
That's so unlucky from Jade. It gets so close, and I think as well, the setup here from ERAH is absolutely sublime in terms of setting Neptune up for success. Jade, I mean, luckily enough, able to play it perfectly in that clutch. And just the shot's not hitting. That's very unfortunate. But that's in all 3 games. Our first pistol round winner has gone on to go and convert the bonus.
Yeah, it's been some very direct results that we've seen so far. And Shazeon is not in a position to claim anything back on that initial kill. So Unfair is going to fall early on this second investment from alternate attacks. So they're trying to close some distance on B, but actually the Omen ult means that there is nobody there and no cancel either.
Spike could be committed successfully as well, but in terms of space, there's not a whole lot that alternate attacks have.
Yeah, Prey out in the middle, does get caught by Tommy. And now ERAH looking to close the distance from both sides. They've got players in main, and the weaker end is towards A-Link, where you can see alternate attacks are trying to make a duel happen. But the sole conduit is Blossy. There is no support, no recourse. Shazeon trying to do additional work by himself, but that's it. Alternate attacks looking far too disjointed right now. And so ERAH will just clean things up and sweep them under the rug. As these teams have been so far today, Cairo, that's 4 uninterrupted for the defenders' side.
Yeah, the record so far set today is 9, the lowest 4 in a row that we've seen. Is this finally the time that we will see alternate attacks respond? I mean, considering the investment in this round, I doubt that will be the case. And after ERAH being 13-1, it looks like they might have an opportunity to really go and return that favour to another team. You can see that alternate attacks have very close range weaponry, and they're going to actually try and brawl towards the A side.
Who's next?
Yeah, you can see a fight taking place here. Jade in the ult, does pop out with a Bucky, deals plenty of damage on Tommy, but just can't seal the killing blow. Another 4-on-4 situation, but there's Tommy to keep ERAH on side and find one back. Still very low.
Here.
But a pause, a wait,
Flight.
an little drone to try and mid-round, but unfortunately Nisha will not be taken off guard. And the timing lost, alternate attacks down 2 players, and really with all players leaving, a difficult task. Sure, you can get the spike down, but the real problem here is how many bodies you have to try and combat off.
Yeah, ERAH just making the decision to play this one by committee, group up, play through middle. Some proactivity being shown. It's left alternate attacks with an A site at their disposal, but this constant cycling of smokes has the fear creep in that someone might be playing close by. Finally, Blossy commits to it, but ERAH already on the back line.
Yeah, and both have a person, a partner to trade with, and that's exactly the case here as we look towards Blossy once again. Sheriff in hand. We've seen them do some work before. Bucky getting a kill, but overall it will be 5-0. Alternate attacks have yet to find a response.
Yeah, we've heard quite a lot of people joking about round 5 after winning your bonus being so difficult to try and then follow up, but it's not too bad. They deal with the eco here, and so the streak isn't going to stop for ERAH. This is a bit of an awkward moment as Robs had sort of ran forward and bounced awkwardly off of the box in front of him, and looked like Shazeon maybe had a timing, but nothing going. It hasn't been too much of an issue in alternate attacks actually getting the spike down. It's when they've been forced to play as a team into ERAH where things have looked that little bit more tiresome.
Yeah, aTTaX going for the timeout here, and I mean, this is well needed, Hazard. It stops the momentum, allows the team to maybe reset mentally, because in these best of ones, it is so important. And we've seen it in Swiss and Northeast, where maybe the best of ones aren't the place to be. But as soon as we get to those best of threes, that's where certain teams start to come more alive.
Yeah, for sure. I think they're cutthroat, right? The format is really, really wicked. It doesn't give you any half opportunity, right? You make a mistake and that's it, you're punished. And I think you're definitely going to see a lot more of that from the better teams in this competition. Alternate attacks have already won a phase, if you want to call it that. ERAH still have plenty of to prove at the same time, despite their performance in phase 2. And you're seeing here now alternate attacks trying to play a little bit more of the map, taking garage control and very early applying pressure in a lobby.
Yeah, but there's a hesitancy about this as well, and the omen of Tommy has got so deep towards C long, so while this space might be taken, Tommy's taking space away and gaining information in the meantime, so alternate attacks, this is pretty much, I guess, telling, although P2 goes for the play and gets one and out.
Yeah, great use of the fast lane as well to cover his back as he looks to leave. Alternate attack should know that that C long control is a possibility and that the A site is overcrowded.
Revealing area.
It doesn't get any easier whatsoever. Jade at least brings something back. One back in their favour. Jade TP and drops the spike, and now it's up to Shazeon with a spike on the floor. Has to be the hero. And peeks straight into the crosshair of Nisha. So ERAH up to 6 and even on the half guaranteed.
Yeah, at the very least, but they'll be aiming much higher than that at this point in time. Alternate attacks have another rifle round. I want to say slip through the net, but really it didn't feel like things were that close. Honestly, ERAH always one step ahead. Feels like every time alternate attacks find a kill, it's in response to something else happening on the map. And while we saw improvements to how they wanted to divide and conquer there, it's the reaction from Tommy and the A setup which ultimately sells it.
Cisse is well supported with 3 bodies there ready to fight. The KG turret finding the contact for the players to try and swing off of, but in the corner, Neptune knows a bait for Shazeon, but it doesn't work out. Pragon as well. It gets worse and worse right now for alternate attacks. As the spike not committed towards anywhere.
Yeah, right back to square one. And as I was saying, alternate attacks really struggling to find the first blood in a lot of these rounds. If they are able to take site control, it's usually coming through a gift of sorts from ERAH, just giving up that space. But here, P2 has the op, holds the line, and is ready for alternate attacks.
Yeah, even going to pop the ultimate for Robs, though, even providing Overwatch towards the flank position in case we saw P2 getting taken off guard. But it seems like this should be easy in the end. Yeah, there you go, flawless and advantage taken for the next half.
Yep, as we expect, it's quite funny there at the end. Blossy TPs into the smoke and then realizes, wait, I don't have a second TP to make any kind of a play happen. I'm screwed, and that's just how it ends up going. That's how the cookie crumbles. Alternate attacks haven't shown us too much so far, but honestly, I've been impressed with ERAH in general, just doing what they need to do, sticking to their guns, responding well to whatever's happening on the map. This is an interesting Viper wall which they're now using. Has some coverage on C as soon as this turret hits first contact, which isn't too far off.
Yeah, and straight away it's the reaction that you expect, right? But it's a lockdown actually instead. It combined the Hunter's Fury tries to ping off, but you're looking at P2 on the back lines, unable to get a pick, so Unfair gone. And alternate attacks denied any opportunity in this round as ERAH just come collapsing down upon alternate attacks. And then the end, there's not much of an attack left.
Now they've been well and truly quashed here, Cairo. And it's even going to force Zifex to go for a second timeout in the opening half, which doesn't make matters any easier. We saw how crucial both Unfair and Prey were to a lot of rounds for alternate attacks, specifically Unfair being alive in the late round as a player to clutch out rounds for them. So the fact that he's an early casualty in so many of these and that Prey doesn't then have the setup of the Sova player to actually close up the distance, I think is one of the big issues for me that I've seen so far.
Another timeout, the second in the first half. It doesn't get any easier. That's when you know you're at your wit's end as a coach. Frustrating to watch from the sidelines, but I imagine even more frustrating to be a part of here for the German side. And I mean, there's co-streams going on as well as the German community has been out in support of this team, but just not showing what is needed inside the server. Here has it.
No, it's been a difficult start. You can see the trend of rounds. The first 5 rounds, all defusals for ERAH, but even now, alternate attacks struggling to get the spike in. It's another rifle which they've got. Blossy still holding on to this Omen ult, which we haven't seen be used just yet. And the Neural Theft, again, is just another conditional ability. It's looking for a good chance to be used, but over the top, opportunity to find Robs, can't get the gun out in time.
Yeah, it felt very desperate, and Robs able to spray down another. Prey stuck in the corner and Unfair unable to help. Maybe not needed. A 1 versus 3 now that we look at the Sova player to do it. I mean, we have seen multi-kill madness from Unfair before, but with a Guardian in hand and no ability to spray players down, you feel this might be just a little bit too much to ask, and it is. 9 found in the end, and we're in the position now, Hazard, where if ERAH find any more rounds, this game could be done in the first half.
Very well could do. This is unfortunate for Blossy, but no one breaking the recon there. A little criminal set up so nicely by Robs at the same time. You know, on the one side, you want to say that mistakes were made, but you also have to give credit where it's due. ERAH have done everything correctly so far. You really can't put a bad mark on their record up until this point, but for alternate attacks, it's, yeah, some of the simple stuff just isn't hitting right now. Blossy, however, has found P2, so that is a promising start, but look at the reaction.
It's the disrespect that ERAH are showing, and it's paying dividends every single time.
I mean, if you're Neptune here, you're going to be so annoyed conceding that kind of a death from the Sentinel player. The Killjoy holding up that whole side of the map.
Yeah, 100%. Oh, the utility is good though, the flash is even better so. And this A site has been unlocked the first time in a long time. Alternate aTTaX have found themselves at an advantage.
Coming back in, Neptune the next! And 3 kills now on the round from this sharp-shooting Killjoy player. Finally put to rest by Prey. And finally, Alternate aTTaX have some respite. A first round on the board.
I get the first, but it's more than that we need at least 3. We had the same conversation in the Carmine core game. It's actually just it's kind of deja vu, right? The opposite side from what you expect to have momentum is doing well. And it is pure momentum in this game so far.
Standing ahead.
Go, go, go.
ERAH going through the motions again and taking that standard A lobby control. This time, Alternate aTTaX not showing anything. Where they have so consistently conditioned this area of the map. B is just a tap of the spike plant. A nice read of the situation with the Hunter's Fury in play.
Hearts destroyed.
Oh, Neptune trying to see if they can sneak their way out in towards Garage, and it feels as if Alternate aTTaX have found a little way, a mission, a way, a formula to success, but can unfair deny the lockdown. It looks like it's potential here as he still goes for more kills, but can't deny the lockdown, so it will pop. But how many players are detained? Only one. Tommy on the flank gets one of his own, but there's still 3 to fight against.
And so Prey's going to close it out, and just like that, Alternate aTTaX do have a response. The scoreline now 9-3, and that advantage lessened. A 7-round cushion for ERAH, but they would love the opportunity to reach double digits on this defender's side. So we know their composition is loaded with anchors, not just the Sentinel, but the Viper, the Omen as well. And against a composition like Alternate aTTaX, where it's so reliant on these set pieces, Operator of Neptune spotted early here.
Oh, but in a little pocket, G comes out and even finds a kill off the back of it. Prey picking up the Operator while trying to use the ultimate to the best of their ability. Alternate aTTaX, they find a way to get the spike down and set up a post plant.
They have a numbers advantage as well. There is an Omen ult to just check this, and absolutely no reason not to invest it into the retake right now. Also an early tag, so this Odin will be looking for spam.
Well, this is where Alternate aTTaX have failed before in the post plan, and when they're trying to hold on to the site, and it's happening again. The German side are looking to collapse once more. Unfair can't escape to safety, so you look at Prey's ult, and it's not hitting, not at all. It will be 10-2. The attack has failed where they have failed many a time. The gap extended once again to 8.
So Alternate aTTaX just can't learn their lesson on this attack side. Ironic, some may say, but it must be said, there is a mountain to climb right now in the best of one if they want to get off the hump and stop themselves from going down 0-2, which feels like a death sentence in the Swiss stage. We've spoken about it at length. And looking at the situation here, it's a defender side pistol which they need to win. The double duelist queued up for an A lobby brawl, but that's one which ERAH will entertain.
Nice A lobby that we see fight for a lot on Haven, but nothing really happening here. The pings onto both duelists to give away the position? I don't know, because this has made ERAH pop straight towards B, take Shazeon out and the site. Prey does a bit of damage. Oh, the shot's not good. Jade, not now. That was your key chance. And with that, the C site, that's where the spike will go.
yeah, just can't shoulder the burden, and so ERAH have opened up this left-hand side, the C site taken. In terms of the retake, it's coming in from all different areas, but Unfair is winning his in Garage.
One enemy
And
remaining.
well, ERAH are winning theirs on site, and that's the biggest problem. Unfair, a 1 versus 4 with 2 players low. You'll get the first, but not a whole lot more after that. Up to 11 for ERAH, and an anti-eco to get 12. It seems like the life force for alternate aTTaX on Haven is slowly dwindling.
Yeah, I mean, the pistol round win should be it. Felt like as soon as Jade had settled the crosshair, it's just a fraction of a pixel off, not too far away at least, but the correction's not quite there. And now the 2 rounds which alternate aTTaX hold can barely hold a candle to the 2 rounds that separate ERAH from closing out this map.
Sheriff in hand, Shazay on, the utility spot on, set execution, although the Sheriff finds the value and gives an advantage to alternate aTTaX coming back into this retake.
Got the numbers here, but what can they do with them?
Last player
That's the real question. It seems if the retake does look successful, in the end, the Sheriff's finding the heads that they were looking for. So, yeah, back up to 3. That gap closes slightly, but certainly nowhere near out the woods just yet.
Yeah, huge round for them to win here on the defender's side, honestly. And a real confidence builder as well, especially when you're able to flood back into the site in the way that they did. Started off with a couple of nice shots from Shazay and does plenty of damage through the train of bodies. It's with this kind of composition where you expect ERAH to look so good in post, especially when Nisha is still alive with that poison orb. So it's still strong signs, but we'll have to see what more can be done.
Jade. Very nice. So deep in towards mid, and I mean, while ERAH start to work towards A, Unfair will completely shut it down. And well, on top of that, the backline's now being poked and prodded, so it felt as if they forced the attack now to move towards A, and they just move into the rifles, and a formality in the end. A flawless round to answer straight back in.
Yeah, a huge pickup, honestly, because round by round, you just continue to build confidence. Unfair getting a few under his belt here as well. Had a quiet start to the first half, but is starting to go through the gears now. Hunter's Fury is going to be online, heading into the sort of semi-bonus, but not really because of the awkward way that the rounds have fallen. Winning that second round is almost better than winning a pistol. As you'll see, there is an operator out here for Prey as well.
Expect to get it up on the defence because it works almost like another sentinel to hold on towards a lane. That's a big tag. It'll get another onto Neptune, so they're gone. Sentinel utility offline, but Jade just walks out into the open and punished for it.
Headshot.
Oh, nice shots from Shazay as well, just following things up. aTTaX in a pretty strong position right now. 4 versus 3 with that deep control through Prey on A. They can quickly respond to the pressure applied here by ERAH. Shazay does exactly that. 3 out of a hat, and he'll make it 4 before the round ends. Alternate aTTaX up to 5 now.
Yeah, slowly starting to do a bit of damage towards this lead, doing a dent into it. But it is still 6 rounds, that's the biggest gap. All it takes is 1 to push ERAH on towards map point. And it's the economy state that we've got to be looking for. Because right now, alternate aTTaX, they're denying these spike plants.
Yeah, it's got to be a strength of this comp. The mobility of it as well, when you look at the TP of the Yoru, high gear on the Neon. And it's those 2 names which find themselves in the feed. Prey and Jade. It's Jade again. Oh, I was going to say again, but Tommy has just about put her to rest on 6 points of health here, stopping it from being a 5v1 situation. But each and every member on this attack side still very much separated from one another before the spike can arrive on C.
I must wait a moment.
Neptune loses the timing as well, unfortunate.
Yeah, it doesn't get any easier, does it? I mean, right now, sure there's time to set up with the spike plant, but it's the cypher utility that's the real problem here. And still, it looks like nobody's walked back site, so Tommy on 6 points of health has not a lot to do here, has it?
Well, out in the corner, Shazeon adds another. And now the deficit reduced to 5. We haven't seen that kind of a gap between the two teams. Well, what, since 5 rounds in? It was such a dominant start from ERAH, but they have really quietened down on this attack side. It feels like they maybe don't fully understand the strengths of the composition. They struggle to create this A pressure, especially against the operator, but we'll have to see what improvements will be made with rifles. We saw 2 timeouts already from aTTaX. Are ERAH going to use any of their own, or do they want to just keep playing into this?
Seems to be the latter. Has a 4 in a row for the aTTaX side, as P2 has brought out a glass cannon of their own. The big thing that ERAH can do to really force things in their favour is stockpile these ultimates and use them almost at the same time, just to push them that one step closer and at least confirm overtime. It seems they would rather allow the German side to make moves on their own, as ERAH are happy to do nothing so far.
Yeah, oh, Jade goes for the peek. I felt like they had the perfect setup there. The spy cam from Shazeon was watching the corner and Jade was ready to try and play off of it, but just decided that that wasn't enough, that C long control was required. Cypher player now stationed in Garage to support their efforts on that side of the map. As aTTaX's focus really is on A right now, as ERAH are slowly scaling their way up long. The third player will arrive before the execution comes in. Will it be enough defenders to stop them?
That's the question, as P2 sends it in, but I mean, nobody really wanting to take that fight. Would rather try and let the overdrive run out, but instead Blossy cut out. And this is a crunch in towards short. Unfair, nowhere safe to sit. So the spike is easily committed. And, well, Prey has at least one answer back.
aTTaX really don't want this to hit 12 rounds. It looks like they're going to give it a go.
Try their hardest. 1 player low, 4 to find. 1 player does have an operator, and well, all ERAH were waiting for was the contact. And in the end, the time not working in Prey's favour. So runs away, not want anything more. ERAH up to 12. All it was going to take was 1 round and 1 ultimate at the back of it. They'll be happy with that. The attack. Alternate aTTaX.
Yeah, the attack, but not the aTTaX. Yeah. Always important to make that distinction. It's ERAH who are happy right now, because that round felt not unattainable, but very difficult to reach, especially on that streak that we'd just seen aTTaX pick up since the 2nd round. But it comes through some individual brilliance from P2. And just having numbers in the end to overwhelm any kind of retake attempt. Still plenty of money with the defense. They'll have it as long as they stay in this game. But that doesn't feel like for too much longer. 6 rounds separating the teams. 6 opportunities to stop this being 0-2. And Prey has taken the first.
Big kill as well. ERAH now find themselves at a disadvantage. How do you get this one back? I mean, Jade is playing in front of the Cypher setup.
Spike drop.
Been able to move the needle here, aTTaX, and Blossy spotted, but repositioning early. Jade now looking to try and supply with some extra information. The Yoru ult coming out and threading its way through middle. Not quite sure if she saw the full extent of the push through Garage, but it matters not. Into long she arrives. outside of audible range and not yet heard by anyone on the ERAH side, even faking a TP as the rest of the team try and create a distraction. Jade's still the point of focus as the front lines are falling. She has to be the one to save them as the pit starts to flourish out. Jade does find the kill that she needed.
Nisha's going in towards the backlines. Needs to keep control of this spike though.
Pit does stay up, and with a shorty available, that's the chance. Unfair fires a dart and reveals the position of Nisha, who trains to the first and flicks to the second to finish the map.